The most dangerous campaign on Kickstarter. Today I'm going to talk about something that's in a class by itself. It has the usual things you'd find in sketchy campaigns, but with one important difference. This device, as built, assuming it works exactly as claimed, will kill a large number of users in short order once it is delivered. It's currently on Kickstarter and is called the SCORKL. A small tank with a regulator mouthpiece, which will come with a special bicycle pump so that you can fill it manually up to 3,000 psi rated pressure by hand. Of course, there are other ways to fill it as well, like a handy fill adapter they show on the campaign site, so you can cross-fill the SCORKL from a handy scuba cylinder. More on that later as we get into this device. Let's face it though, filling it with that hand pump has some distinct ocular advantages. All this healthy activity will supposedly give you up to 10 minutes of underwater exploration time, allowing you to swim to your heart's content, indulging in your best Mike Nelson fantasies that have been incubating since your first set of Sea Hunt reruns as an impressionable child. Doesn't that seem fun to think about? What the campaign doesn't tell you about is what will happen to many who use this device without training. Fatal air embolism as they rise too quickly to the surface or hold their breath while surfacing, especially if they breathe that small tank dry. Yes, the one important thing they don't really mention in their campaign at all is that this is a compressed gas device used in scuba diving. It's why you can use that nifty scuba tank fill adapter with it that we saw earlier. In fact, it's not even new in diving circles. It's been around the diving world from another manufacturer for over 30 years. This device, called the Spare Air from Submersible Systems Incorporated. Somebody looks like they're infringing on intellectual property, eh? Anyway, it gets even more interesting. Most every dive shop has to submit on a regular basis an air sample from their compressor that they fill scuba cylinders from as a legal requirement for reasons of safety and liability. In those samples, the testing labs are looking for contaminants that just aren't good to breathe for some reason or other. To maintain the purity of that compressed atmosphere, they have filters that must be changed on a regular basis to keep those contaminants at acceptable levels. You can imagine the size of those filters. Or maybe not. They are pretty big depending on the filtration job they have to do, one of which is keeping you alive. Compare those with the size of the bicycle pump shown earlier. The width and barrel diameter of a normal bicycle pump will contain a filter to remove contaminants and excess water from the air being compressed, and you'll be building pressure up to 3,000 psi while doing it. There's a picture on the campaign site of it. What do you think might be wrong with that picture? The problems don't stop there. Remember that eye candy shot from earlier? Of course you do. try and ignore the operator and realize that the pump is allegedly operating on a damp, sandy environment for however long it supposedly takes to get up to the pressure needed for a complete fill of the SCORKL. To put it another way, have you ever attempted to inflate a 30 psi automobile tire with a bicycle pump? Now, imagine having to inflate the equivalent of several such tires all at once. How long would that take again? But wait, there's more. In Australia, Canada, and the US, there are regulations that require scuba cylinders to be checked at regular interviews and tested hydrostatically to make sure they are still safe to fill. Divers know these regulations because it's part of the training to become divers and get that certification that allows them to get air fills from those big honking compressors that dive shops have. If that hand pump allows the uninformed backer of this product to circumvent this kind of safety net, and there's nothing on the Kickstarter campaign that mentions training as a scuba diver to operate the device safely, I would predict a whole lot of accidents for the future. Accidents caused by untrained, ill-advised people being seduced by the cool factor, but not knowing the danger they are inviting to their lives without the proper training to go into the water with their brand new death machines. Now, this is our opinion. You should stay as far away from this without scuba training as possible, but you may have a different opinion. If so, I would like you to submit your application for a Darwin Award as quickly as possible. Now, it is just barely possible you could get this device, operate it, and nothing bad may happen to you. But what are the odds? At any rate, this is yet another campaign that is screaming in crowdfunding hell.